Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, dear devotees, we are on Latvian Zoom with your own Latvian representation here. So we are happy to be with you all in Latvia and around the world. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. In fact, lots of places around the world. The world is well represented by the presence of each of you here. And do we have simultaneous translation today? Yes, okay, Udaran Prabhu giving a yes, so we'll make sure we got English clicked, though sometimes we may have some Russian being spoken, because we've got Russian representation, Namapriya Devi Dasi here. All right, so first of all, let us begin as we do with Mini Vandanam. Now we're all a little accustomed to that. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvaje Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's Latvian Zoom. Let us come first to Suresh, and I believe that we shall hear English. Those of us who know only English or Italian or some similar, that we will switch to the English channel, and Suresh Krishna can give some news from Latvia. Udaran Prabhu can give news from Latvia. Indumati Ambraja Krishna Prabhu there in Latvia too. We'd love to hear from each of you, and then we shall continue with contributions from here and who may like to contribute. Jai Shri Gurudev, Jai Shri Guru Maharaj. Oh, Priyanana is doing the translation, I see. Okay, so Priyanana, very grateful for your assistance with this.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat dear devotees. Purnamasi Didi, Dandavat. Dandavat, nice to see you. Almost live. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I will speak in Russian, okay?
Yes, perfect, Prabhu, yes.
Да, ну сейчас мы, так сказать, на конечной стадии подготовки
Now we are on the final
фестивалю, потому что
step
уже
in our preparation
осталось
for the
20
festival
дней
because it's
до начала,
20
поэтому
days
сейчас
left
больше у нас,
before it.
сказать, забот об этом, но мы уже
We
утвердились
take care
с
of it,
местом,
but
где
now
мы
we've
будем
chosen the
проводить
place, the
йога-фест.
location
Это,
for
городской фестиваль.
Yoga Fest.
Это будет Махарадж
It's a
тоже около озера, только на
town
другом берегу озера.
festival.
Там
It's
кемпер-парк.
going to be on the other side of
Мы
the
решили
lake,
все-таки
Maharaj.
сделать на новом месте,
We decided to take
чтобы
new
как-то
location
менять обстановку
to change the
на
environment,
одном всегда
not
месте.
to be on the same spot.
Вот. И, ну, это сейчас основные подготовки.
Now that's
А
the main
также приехал в
preparation,
гости
and
Говинда
also
Чандра, как вы
Govinda
видите,
Chandra
Говинда
came to us with a
Он
visit, as you can see.
посещал West London Mud,
He went to
ходил.
West London
И вот
Mud,
он вчера нам поехал,
and
показал
yesterday
очень
he went
удивительное место.
and showed us an amazing
Там,
place
недалеко от того
nearby,
места, где будет ретрит, холм.
near the place where we are going to
И на
make
этом
retreat.
холме еще есть
There
смотровая
is a
вышка, и мы
hill
поднимались
and there
наверх
is a tower,
и видели весь
like
обзор,
viewpoint,
можно сказать, весь Латгальский регион,
and you can see the
там, где
whole
мы
region
находимся,
from there.
можно было видеть. И вот он специально показал, чтобы
He
Махарадж мы
specially
потом
showed it
Данси
to
с
us
преданными,
so
я
that
его говорю,
later we
здесь
could
отвезли
take you
туда,
with the
показать
devotees
это место. И также интересно
there.
в том, что мы ехали туда
And
изначально,
very
чтобы
interesting that
там он 20 лет назад был, там были
he
ведические
said
камни,
that
то есть какой-то
20 years
какой-то
ago there
алтарь,
were some Vedic
какой-то был
stones, some
ведический алтарь,
altar,
была свастика нарисована,
swastiks,
знаки ведические, но сейчас, к сожалению, это все уже
some Vedic
убрали,
signs, but
следов не
means
осталось, но
signs.
какая-то особая
But now
атмосфера
there
там
are none of
присутствует,
them
и
they are
вот
present,
интересно будет тоже
but still the
вас, всех
atmosphere is
гостей
very unique, and I think it's going to be
латвийского
interesting
фестиваля отвезти туда потом, когда вы
that
как бы
our
будете здесь.
festival
Ну и там мы
guests
проводим, как всегда,
will go there
воскресную
and
программу.
visit.
Леонард
And of
поддерживает
course, we are
постоянно,
here with
Татьяна.
Leonard and Tatiana
Был
on our
Гавардхан-хари, он уже ушел, ему
Sunday
нужно было
program.
там по делам.
And Govardhan Hari
Мы
Prabhu,
здесь,
he had
мы с
to
вами,
leave.
рады, что вы с нами.
He had some
Дандават.
business. We are very
Может,
happy
кто-то
to
еще
be
хочет
with
сказать?
all you here. Does anyone want to add anything?
Ждем встречи с Махараджем.
We are waiting to meet
Да, и
you.
они ждут
Looking
встречи с
forward to
вами.
meeting you. Looking forward
Леонард уже
to the festival.
зарезервировал выходные на
Leonard
все это
already
время.
reserved his holidays
Все
for
в
the whole
предвкушении.
time of the festival.
Кришна.
Everyone's like, looking forward to it.
This is the best use of your holidays to have holy days. And in English, it's so clear that is the origin of the expression holiday. It is holy days. And in India too, then really the days which are traditionally the days for holiday, they are holy days in India. And only more recently has it become that you go to enjoy at some, retreat, or not a retreat, but enjoy at some like a mundane holiday place, a luxury place or something. It always was that it was holy days. And that's why we have places like Jagannath Puri, which were purely pilgrimage places previously. And now on the outside, on the external side of Jagannath Puri, we do see like the Western style enjoyment and discos and things like this taking place now as the influence of Kali progresses. So Leonardo, we're very happy you've taken your holidays for holy days. Jai. And what news from the London temple? Krishna Chandra was there recently, is that right?
Говори.
Govinda Chandra, sorry, excuse, Govinda Chandra was there recently in London?
Yes, Maharaj, Dandavats. I will, if you not, can I speak Russian? I would like to be understand for.
Yes, we will get the translation, Prabhu. Yes, da.
Я хочу сказать, что
I just want to say that West London,
хорошая семья.
it's a good family
В первую очередь.
in the first place. It's a very good temple with great devotees, with good atmosphere.
Которая соответствует какой-то духовной
And you can feel the spiritual family there.
Я знаю, что преданные
I
там
know
уехали на
that the
фестиваль.
devotees there, they went for the festival,
Программа такая,
they
да,
got very
уехали куда-то там на 5
intensive
дней. Я в этот
preaching
момент
program,
я отсутствовал уже. Я приехал
and
где-то
I
2
was
недели
away
назад
too,
примерно из Лондона.
and I returned
Вот.
maybe a
И
couple of
поэтому я
weeks
просто от себя
ago
могу
from
сказать, что
London.
если будет такая возможность и благословение,
I
опять же,
can
ваши,
tell
Madhusudan
from
Maharaj,
myself that if you, with
если
your
туда
blessings,
может кто-то
Madhusudan
приехать и
Maharaj,
побыть
if someone can
какое-то
go
время,
there
сделать сервис,
and
севу,
do
то
some
тогда это
service,
очень
then it's
благоприятно.
very
И
auspicious.
мне очень нравится именно вот там я почувствовал Шидхара Махараджа.
There I felt the
Его
mood
именно
of Sridhar
дух
Maharaj,
такой. Не
his
знаю,
spirit.
но вот это мне вот очень
I
приятно.
don't know, but it was very pleasing
Вечерние
to me,
баджаны
like
с
evening
преданными.
bhajans with the
Это очень
devotees.
важно.
That's very
Сева.
important in seva.
Вот. Ну, поэтому все благодаря вам, кстати говоря,
Everything,
только по вашей
by the
милости
way,
я оказался там, Madhusudan
by
Maharaj.
your grace,
Так
Madhusudan
что
Maharaj, that I
спасибо
went there.
большое.
Thank you very much.
I'm very happy you went, And I am very happy that you felt this kind of mood in the association of the devotees. And that ashram, that temple, every temple is important, but that temple was very much wanted by Guru Maharaj and by Srila Govinda Maharaj. And so this is a very auspicious temple, ashram, that has the specific like blessing and overseeing of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev. And the devotees are doing their best, and you recognize that. And we also agree, wherever the devotees come together trying to follow as Gurudev and Guru Maharaj gave us, which is one and the same thing, which is what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave to the world, then wherever devotees are trying to do that, the atmosphere must be very special. And compared to the regular world outside, it's like an oasis where we can have freely discussion about Krishna, freely discussion about the holy name, about devotional service, about our masters and about the Vaishnavas, about the devotees. So I'm happy that you felt that atmosphere within the temple. And as you visit other temples in the world, then you'll get some opportunity, and I hope that you'll also recognize that common thread, that common factor amongst all the variety of locations and people who are in the temples, but there's something which is in common. They're all trying to do what Gurudev and Guru Maharaj gave to us, which is the very best thing to do with our life, the sadhana of devotional service, cultivating the bhakti lata bija, the seed, cultivating the seed that's given to us of the holy name in devotional mood. And by cultivating that carefully, it grows into the lata, which is the plant. And then as it matures, we get the fruit of that plant. So wonderful. Happy to hear this news. And I can tell you one thing for sure, that this kind of news, Srila Gurudev will be very happy to hear. And actually, our life is for pleasing him. So, Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. And by the way, the festival that Govinda Chandra Prabhu is mentioning is the festival of Glastonbury Festival. It is an annual Tamagun or Rajagun or something music festival in England, in Glastonbury. But the devotees go there to preach, for some preaching and some collection also. And this year I heard the collection is not being emphasized so much, but the preaching side is emphasized. And we are in Italy here. Well, we're not in Italy, we're in Vila Govinda Ashram. But from here also one devotee, Rituraj Prabhu, he went to also assist them at this time. So he took his holidays and he went to London to work hard in the heat, people reaching. There we are, Chintamani Didi, your expression has not died out, rather it's become established. People reaching rather than preaching. Hare Krishna. And in Daugava Hills, Raja Krishna Prabhu, any news, or you're happy, simply happy to chant Hare Krishna? Just turn on the microphone.
Дандават, учитель, Дандават и всем преданным.
Dandavat, dear Gurudev and all the
Новости каждую
devotees.
минуту, новости каждую
You've got the
секунду.
news every
Для меня
day,
самые
every
главные
minute, every
новости,
second.
они
And the
внутри
most
меня.
important news are inside
Чувствовать,
myself.
как
I feel that,
я воспринимаю мир, как меняется мое
like
восприятие
how
мира.
my perception of the
Если
world
раньше я
is
воспринимал
changing.
мир с точки зрения
Before,
моего эго, то
I
я сейчас стараюсь воспринимать
perceived
мир
it
с точки
from the
зрения
viewpoint of my ego,
Кришны.
and now I try to
И
do it
эта
from
работа,
the
она
viewpoint
напряженная,
of
мне
Krishna.
кажется. Но и она постоянная в то же
That's
время.
quite intense work,
И для
but
меня
it's
этот
consistent,
процесс, он
constant,
трудный,
and it's a hard process.
постоянный,
It's continuous,
но он
but it's
естественный в то же
natural at the
время.
same time.
Я просто пытаюсь
I
делать
just try
самоанализ и
to
смотреть, что
analyze
происходит
myself
внутри.
and to notice what happens inside of me.
Возникает много внутренних вопросов,
Many
конфликтов
internal
внутренних,
questions arise, many
но в
conflicts,
любом случае я обращаюсь
but
к Кришне
in any
и
case, I
доверяю
address
Кришне.
Krishna and I trust him.
Мы делаем все
We all
правила,
do,
которые
we all
предписаны
follow the
Вайшнавам,
regulations,
свои
Vaishnava
утренние и
regulations,
дневные, и
and
мы стараемся
morning
читать
and
каждый день.
afternoon duties, and we try to
И для
read
меня
every
главное то,
day.
что происходит внутри
For me,
меня.
the most important thing
Для меня это
that's
тяжелый
happening
процесс,
inside of
но в
me.
то же время
For me, it's difficult process,
я
but
думаю, что есть вероятность,
I
что
think there is
этот
possibility
процесс,
that this
он
process
приведет
will
меня
lead
к
me
результату.
to some results.
Постоянно вспоминаю вас, мой
I
учитель.
constantly remember you,
Надеюсь
my
на вас,
Gurudev. I
ибо
hope
одному мне справиться с этим
hope
невозможно.
for your
Только
help
благодаря вам,
because I
благодаря
cannot do it
сампрадаям нашим,
alone. And
благодаря
just
нашим учителям,
due
я
to
надеюсь
thanks to you, to all
прийти
our
к цели.
Sampradayam
Харе Кришна.
gurus, I will do this.
Definitely do have hope, because you are going in the right direction, on the right road, with many guardians. And Srila Guru Maharaj told that we have many hidden guardians we cannot even see. But those in the past who come to present Krishna consciousness, and we can immediately think of Srila Govinda Maharaj, means Srila Gurudev, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They've all disappeared from our vision, but they are there. But also, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is the very inaugurator. It was his vision that all over the world will come to know about Krishna and chant Krishna's name. And they are all in our backing. They're giving support to us. If only we can look to them, their guidance, and know that they haven't abandoned by disappearing from the world. They have not abandoned what they came to give. And if we go even further back, we have the 6 Goswamis, and we have Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So you have lots of hidden guardians, including the Lord himself in his most generous form of Nitai and Gauranga. So keep on going. You will be successful. It's not an instruction. You will be successful. It is a fact. And that's from Gurudev. We know that connection, any connection with from Srila Gurudev's perspective, what he has told clearly to the devotees, any seva connection and any connection we've got with Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, is sure to bring us to our home sooner or later. So that the sooner or later part depends upon us to some extent. So Jai, happy to hear from you. And we learned from Suresh Krishna, he said it's just 20 days until we'll all meet very soon, there in Resigne and Daugavpils and Riga. But we shall meet Udaran Prabhu sooner than that, because we'll be going for the second anniversary, perhaps, of the inauguration of the ashram in Budapest in Hungary. So we'll meet there after Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 4 days. After 4 days, we'll meet. Very good. So Udaran Prabhu, what news from the suburbs or little further than the suburbs of Riga?
Well, Dandavats Maharaj, Dandavats all the devotees. The news is that this Monday, Suresh Krishna Prabhu has arrived into Riga, and we did a little program there with the Hari Gopal and the Namapriya Devi as well. So we've been 4 of us, and we chanted some bhajans, had spiritual discussions, and after we spoke with Suresh Krishna Prabhu, and he actually mentioned that it's a completely different spirit when we are together. It is where all of us are very different persons, each of us, but still we can feel like unity, like we are searching for something, each of us, something one, something unit, something the same. But in the material life, we are like completely different persons. But each of us has some strong sides of us, and we can deal together and to be like a one, like a unity, and that's, I think, is very, very good for our future team. And I hope that Suresh Krishna Prabhu will return someday to Riga and we will have there someday an ashram or at least spiritual programs. So, and that's.
So what we experience by going to an ashram, like we heard in the London temple and Vila Govinda and other temples in the world, what we experience there in that community, which means may not be many people, but where the current is following that full 24 hours a day program given by Guru Maharaj, then we have a little hope that one day in Latvia, which place, I do not know, but there'll be some sweet place where people will go and they say, oh, I felt like I was in Navadip, because Navadip is not limited to a country, as we know. Well, if we understand about offenses to the Dham is not limited to a country of this world. So let's see what the history books will tell us about the manifestation of an ashram in Latvia. It may be. When it will be happily. And I see Braja Sundari is not in Latvia. She is in Mrityu Loka. Oh my goodness. The land of birth and death. But devotees are not in the land of birth and death. And this afternoon here in Italy, we caught Purnamasi Devi Dasi red-handed preaching about the glories of the Vaishnavas to one of the guests who come here. So maybe she's Latvian or somewhere like that, because her daughter, Lakshmi Rani, then she's been studying in Latvia and then now in Estonia, just next door. But she's been there with you. So we could ask, first of all, from this side of the world, or this side of the screen, we can ask the Purnamasi to say a couple of words. She appreciates the Vaishnavas, and she's one of the principal devotees of a large temple in Mauritius. So just click on try to click it onto your talk. And she can speak to you in French and Creole and not Tamil, but English. So I think we'll select English today for our translators.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees. Very happy to meet all the devotees from all around the world, especially from Riga. And I don't know how Krishna or Gurudev Mercy, we came to meet all. And I think that because we are all children of the same Father, so we should meet. So this is all the arrangement of Krishna and Gurudev that we are meeting here, because I am from a very small country, Mauritius. You even can't see it in the map. It's just a small dot. So, and I never saw that I will be here in Italy or in Latvia to come to meet with devotees. I feel it's my great fortune, and I'm very, very happy to see that all around the world there are devotees of Gurudev, and his mercy is spreading all around the world. This makes me very happy, and yes, I'm very, very happy to meet every devotee and seeing that Gurudev mission is going all around the world. That makes me much happier, because we are trying to follow Gurudev and seeing all his children around the world, trying to serve him. This is a very, indeed, very good that we, how to say, we are very happy about this because everyone is trying to follow Gurudev and trying to serve Guru and Krishna, Mahaprabhu. And here in Italy, I've come, I've seen the devotees serving. I'm very happy with the service and also very thin. I am fortunate that I also been trying to be with them, trying to serve, and what I can say. Then what Pranam.
Jai.
Jai.
Thank you very much, Spasibo Bolshoi. And back pushing, sitting on the back row, but is your very own inside man, inside lady, inside devotee, here in Italy from Latvia, Namapriya Devi Dasi. So if you pass the mic, oh yes,
Yeah.
if you clip it on, it's good, because otherwise it gets a lot of sound from your hand. And you say something?
Hello.
Yes, you can say.
Okay.
In English if possible, because
Yes.
otherwise we won't hear the Russian
Okay.
we won't hear the translation.
Dandavat, dear devotees. So nice to see your bright faces from all over the globe in Latvia, gathered together with Madhusudan Maharaj. And I'm in the Italian room of our family house, and talking about the importance of Vaishnavas. We have some very happy news here. I think it was the day before yesterday or yesterday, time is different here, when a whole family of people took initiation, and we got 3 new family members with very beautiful names. They are Tapati Devi Dasi, which is another name for Radharani, and we've got Sundar Krishna Prabhu and their daughter Nava Gauri Didi. So they didn't have their son with them, but the son is also wanting and wishing to have initiation and become a devotee. So this was a very happy event, which lifted us all up very much. And still we are in this mood of upliftment, of joy. And yes, about the devotees here and about the Vaishnavas being here in Villa Govinda is something very, very special, because I can observe with my own eyes how people, how devotees, how persons are 24/7 connected through the service connection to our Gurudev and our Guru Parampara. And it's very inspiring. It's something unreal for me, but it is a very valuable thing to do, to observe and to see how it looks like, because it's not something that is only in the books, but we can see here in life how devotees are 24/7 surrendered souls to their deities, to their ashram, to meeting new people, to taking care about us devotees. So that's my news, that's my impressions. Thank you so much for listening. Dandavat Pranam.
Govinda Govinda. Hare Krishna. And here is Sarah. She's from Salt Lake City, which has been renamed by Munindra Mohan Prabhu, who you all know from here in Italy. He's renamed officially, devotionally, renamed Salt Lake City as Sweet Lake City. And so Sarah, she came here for a few days, and then she went off with one of her friends, because pre-planned for a holiday going to Greece. Instead, she got her friend on the bus to go to Greece, and she returned here. So something magnetic has pulled her. We can hear a little bit from Sarah. Just clip it on if possible. Yeah.
Dandavat. I'm fairly new to Krishna consciousness, but one thing that really struck me was I'm good friends with all the devotees in Salt Lake City, and I always kind of thought that it was just a a friendship, even though I enjoyed the spiritual side of it. And going to Greece with my friend, I was noticing I was missing the spiritual aspect of it too. And coming to the Italy temple, I wasn't sure what to expect from the devotees. If, I was just lucky to meet great people back home, but everybody here has been just as great as the devotees in Salt Lake City, and it's really nice to be welcomed into this community. That's all. Thank you.
And she's very welcome, and she fits in, like they say, peas in a pod. Is that some expression in English, something like this?
Yeah.
I don't know what happens in Russian if you translate it. Hare Krishna. Yes. And we really do have devotees from around the world with us. And I can ask, first of all, does anybody have any question? And first priority questions coming from Latvia. It's a Latvian Zoom, but really, we are all, so many of us together from around the world. We've come to your country through the Zoom. But first, any question, anything from Latvia? Yes, Suresh Krishna. And then an opportunity for all to ask or to share something specific this week.
Yes, Maharaj, I have a question. Recently, I realized that this material world is full of different opportunities, different varieties, how to satisfy myself, my ego, many kind of entertainments. So, and I understand that for this entertainment, we must hard work and pay and go to these entertainments and have a fun. So my question is, what is the price for Krishna consciousness? What is the price for admit to Krishna consciousness? What we need to give to get to Krishna consciousness? Because with materials here is understandable. We need hard work, and then we will have something for some short time. So what is the price for the Krishna consciousness?
It is free for everybody. But the real price is faith and full surrender. One day, full surrender. In the meantime, to surrender as we can. So, may not be a price in terms of euros or dollars or rupees, but a little more expensive. We're giving ourselves, we're giving our false ego into the fire of seva and surrender. And this needs faith. And when we are reading the books and hearing the talks, some topics just seem to come up to the surface and seem to reflect in each of the things we're reading. And recently, we've been reading on this theme of faith and how faith is the very basis of our devotional life, and this theme that with faith, we can surrender. If we don't have faith, then how can we give our energy, give our life to somewhere if we don't have any faith? So it is free, but very expensive, Suresh Krishna Prabhu. We read a quote from Guru Maharaj where he was saying that Krishna, at the same time, we must remember that Krishna is not a sweet ball that we can just go to the market, get the sweet ball, and immediately, for how much is a sweet ball now? 4 rupees in the market? I do not know, but something like this. For 4 rupees, we can go and buy Krishna and get a sweet taste. We actually have to give up our false ego, not to give up our real ego. And just at maybe lunchtime today, or maybe it was late breakfast time, Chinmoy Devi was saying how much humor there is in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat. How much humor there is between the devotees of the Lord, the devotees of Mahaprabhu. It's not that they were all carbon copy cloned You know, they do exactly the same thing every day. They all have the same nature. They all sit down in a room and chant 16 rounds and then do this and do this and do this in a rigid way. But rather, they had so much different nature. And so we do have a clean ego, and that ego is going to be individual from everybody else's, because everything is full of variety in the world. We were looking at the flowers on the altar here today. There are many beautiful flowers, and some of them are the same breed, you can say. And one of the flowers is like very intricate. If you were to make it out of paper or something, oh, you would spend ages to make this flower and color it and all these things. Very intricate. But there are other flowers on the altar of the same family, but every flower is different. So variety is everywhere. And I don't want to quote the scientists, but when I was at school, the scientists said that every snowflake is different. They've analyzed every snowflake, by the way. But by all the snowflakes that they have analyzed, which must be quite a lot for them to say, but anyway, they've come to this conclusion that every snowflake is different. So when you look in the sky, you're in the northern hemisphere, and I see very happily we're in Tomsk also. And in Tomsk, everybody knows in the winter, there's lots of snowflakes falling from the sky. So when you look up there, every snowflake is different. Every flower is different, even of the same breed. And every human, not only human, every individual is different. So we happily embrace those differences, but we must try to lose our self-centered ego. And there are layer after layer after layer of self-centered ego. And that's why we have to keep removing those layers by the process given to us by Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. Not to think we can invent our own system, or this will be better than they gave. They've given the best. And yesterday we noted that the last verse of the Premadama Deva Stotram, almost the last verse, means the last verse of like glorification of Mahaprabhu, is Srila Guru Maharaj is giving us that the very best thing to do is Hari Nam Sankirtan. And this, then in the translation, there is a quote from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and that quote from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is in the very last chapter, the very end of Chaitanya Charitamrita. The best thing to do is Hari Nam Sankirtan. So we shall try to do that. And that Sankirtan, as we know from Guru Maharaj, from his explanation, Samyak Kirtan, which means full Kirtan. And it may be with mridanga and kartals and allowed this way. And it may be in the form of distributing fully Krishna consciousness, not something diluted, but giving Krishna consciousness as directly as possible. So, when Guru Maharaj concludes with this in Premadama Deva Stotram, when Mahaprabhu concludes with this, and Krishnadas Kaviraj concludes with this in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but Mahaprabhu's Leela concludes with this, that the highest activity for us in Kali Yuga is Harinam Sankirtan. And towards the end of the Bhagavatam, when Krishna is leaving and leaves, then there is the description there of Kali Yuga. And I think Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, the 12th canto, has got the title, The Age of Degradation, or something like that. It's giving us news about what will be in Kali Yuga. But for us, we are reading that while we are in Kali Yuga. And it is remarkably familiar. Like, oh, what's shocking about this? This is normal. But in the time of honesty and cleanliness and purpose of life and the structure of society, civilized society. Don't forget that there's a chapter in Bhagavatam which is entitled, the ideal family life, instructions for a civilized society, all these things. When we read those, we think, oh, it must be wonderful, those days. But in those days, to read about Kali Yuga, they'll think, oh, terrible. But we are in those days and we're thinking, oh, yes, this is here. So anyway, it is Kali Yuga, and we must definitely come to this congregational chanting, full chanting. And by the way, yesterday, a little news, nobody gave news from here. Yesterday, we went on Harinam Sankirtan. We went to Lekko, and there weren't as many people as we thought there would be. And we also guessed why not so many people, because there was an international football match and Italy was playing. Oh dear. So apparently they were watching the TV and they were going to come out later after the football game ended. So anyway, such is the society of the world, but not as many people as we were expecting, but still many percentage of the people we saw, which is still quite a few people, and high percentage, smiles, and you can see the Harinam Sankirtan somehow touches so many people, old and young, and children, a little child jumping up and down dancing, and the parents will try to stop them dancing. Why? The child is happy to dance. Anyhow, that's a little news from here. And some chats in the chat box, by the way, and from Chisalni down, with probably Rasananda Prabhu, sending Dandavats, and Ranga Devi Dasi, Ranga Devi, we're missing you, but you've been well represented by the family who just came, and hoping you can come next time. And Tungarasa is sending obeisances. By the way, I've been thinking of Tungarasa's question. She has a question. What's the difference between observation or comment and a complaint? Tungarasa, there is a difference, but that question's been with me today also. And even the difference is in the expression, just to say, oh, it is very hot, it's kind of a comment, but, it is very hot, and it can come out as a complaint if it's just expressed in another way. Anyway, she did have, Tungarasa had this good question. What's the difference between making a comment and a complaint? We must not complain about the environment, but we can comment about it. It's Kali Yuga, so we won't complain. Rather, we can comment. It is Kali Yuga. Therefore, it's a wonderful time because we can chant Hare Krishna, which is so easy compared with all the other yugas, and by the way, which we didn't mention, and which will take us to a higher place than the dharmas, the yuga dharmas, the duties of the other yugas will take us generally to liberation and to the Vaikuntha Seva plane. But Mahaprabhu, especially this Kali Yuga, coming himself, Radharan Krishna, has given the gift of this Harinam Maha Mantra and the Harinam Sankirtan to take us to the highest place, and that place of Goloka Vrindavan, rarely achieved by the residents of Vaikuntha, even though they may hear about it and aspire for it. So, very confidential, and this way we can comment we're in Kali Yuga, but not complain. We can say the bright side, one great opportunity, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and we can add to that, especially now. And Marie, she has put also in the, she put a joke. Oh, is it a good joke? It's a good joke. Okay, they read the joke already. The joke is, my question is, when I start to get excited about traveling to meet with devotees, why does my brain respond by telling me to sew all the things?
She's always sewing when on the videos.
Oh, you're always sewing, yes, okay, got it. You see, devotees, they're not boring. Devotees have a sense of humor. Jai, happily hearing Mari. And there is a hand in Resigne, a hand up, a hand of blessing, and probably a hand of contribution from Suresh.
Yes, Maharaj.
And the
We have a
devotees.
question from Govinda Chandra Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
English?
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I will speak Russian. Yeah.
Да, да.
Thank you. Дело в том, что последний ваш Zoom,
The
который
last Zoom that I visited a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that we should do more emphasis on Harinam Sankirtan more than on japa chanting. And if I understand you right, that was shown in this way. So I got the question. Now I've heard that was the ending of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that we should do Harinam Sankirtan, but our japa, our personal chanting, in what balance or percentage or how should it be? Maybe by the grace of the devotees, we are going to make 24 hours of Harinam Sankirtan. Then should at some point we pick up our beads and chant our japa.
And in my best Russian, da. Yes, we will pick up our beads and chant our japa. And Mahaprabhu gave such certificate to Haridas Thakur that he said that you Haridas, you chant, you keep your vow of chanting your japa, the fixed number of times of your given savor of chanting your japa, and you engage in Sankirtan, means you engage in the chanting and the dancing and the Harikatha association with the devotees. And you have good behavior, not hiddenly doing wrong or hiddenly thinking wrong, not chanting japa and the mind is going to think of other things. And Mahaprabhu, he knows the heart of everyone, by the way, including ourselves, including you and I. So nothing is hidden to him. And he gave such example to the world that Haridas Thakur, he is the Nama Acharya, the living example. Acharya means not only a teacher, but one who is the very example. And in this case, Nama Acharya, Haridas Thakur. And we were actually discussing here very recently how it is actually inconceivable for us to think, how did Haridas Thakur chant 300,000 names on the beads? And you can get your calculator out, and it's a lot around, as well as have the time even to associate with the devotees, have Harikatha, not only associate with the devotees, associate with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who would come to him almost daily. Mahaprabhu would come and visit Haridas Thakur, and they would have interaction. And when Rupa and Sanatan were in Puri, they stayed with Haridas Thakur, so much interaction. During Ratha Yatra festival, they are chanting there in the procession with Namaprya. Haridas Thakur specifically mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that he's comprising one of those 7 groups that Mahaprabhu organized around the Rath car. So it is inconceivable how somebody can chant so many rounds, so many names of the Lord, and by the way, must be pure name of the Lord. Mahaprabhu is not going to give such certificate if it is just like repeating a sound. Rather, really chanting the names of the Lord 300,000 times a day. And that he's able to do this Sankirtan in the form of glorification of the Lord, individually, broadly, and chanting loudly. So we shall try to find, according to our local time, place, and circumstance, the balance. But it's likely not to be every day that you go out on the streets chanting. And in Navadip also, it wasn't like that. We didn't go out every day, but at the festival times, those times, and going out in the chanting. Otherwise, every day, the routine of life is to get up, to bathe, to chant, and attend the programs, to start the day in a good way. And there's an English expression that I learned in Chaitanya Saraswat Math on Guru Maharaj's veranda, which says, morning shows the day. And I don't know if that came from an Indian expression, I don't know. But there is the expression in India in English, morning shows the day. So if we start our day in a good way, then we have a good chance that the rest of the day will follow nicely. And there is something in the songbook, and in the songbook there is that verse, that song is Prabhu Kohe Kohelan E Mahamantra. And that is taken from actually more than one place and put together. It's taken from the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Prabhu Kohe Kohelan E Mahamantra. Iha Japa Giya Sobe Korya Nirbanda. And there Mahaprabhu is saying, chant your japa, means in the translation it says in proper measure. But we've begged for, we've prayed for receiving the holy name. And why have we received the holy name? We've received it to get the descending current of the name, not our idea of that name, and to cultivate that name which has been planted as a seed in our heart, to cultivate that by the process that's been given to us by our masters. So hence, when you go to the London temple or to any temple, we hope that all the temples there, more or less following that routine that Guru Maharaj and Gurudev gave. And the more that that's followed, then the likely chance, the more we'll be able to overcome the material world and keep our attention in proper, like I say, balance of what we spend our time in, you could say, meditation or routine, and spend our time doing the practical things which Gurudev very much appreciated. Not to be lazy or not just to meditate, but to do, to put into activity. So seva, 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 always serviceful. But yes, Guru Maharaj said of Raghunath Das Goswami also, no human could do what he did. He is not of this world. 22.5 hours a day engaged in seva, awake and alive seva, and 1.5 hours engaged in bodily necessities, including sleeping and bathing and the other things like that. Inconceivable, inconceivable. Even we try to conceive how to do that, we can't fit it into 1.5 hours. So Haridas Thakur, he's the perfect example, but inconceivable. So we will adjust to time, place, circumstance, which includes adjusting to our own capacity. And by the way, we saw in Navadip, sometimes some devotee will try to do this all-night chanting and sleep for 2 hours or something like this. But we saw that really when we do this and we're not actually able to do it, but we're sort of stretching to do these things, we saw some kind of madness, or imbalance coming into the mentality of the devotees. So it's fine for somebody who is qualified, but we must be very careful. We've come from, the world which is quite different from Krishna consciousness, and to think that we will be qualified to chant and chant and chant and not sleep, it is a little dangerous. And we see that also some difficulties come when this is done artificially. It's not that nobody can do it, in the sense of there are those like Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, of course, Raghunath Das Goswami, Haridas Thakur. They can do, but let's be honest to ourselves. We are not them. We are the fallen soul department coming to pray for some grace from above, and in yukta vairagya, in practical renunciation of the material activities, then we continue happily. And not to underestimate the fortune we've got of that guidance of what is a balance. And this is what we are trying to do in every temple that's representing the mat. And what does the mat mean? The mat means Gurudev and Guru Maharaj's teachings. Again, not a physical place, but their teachings, and that's to go into the heart of the devotees. Hare Krishna. And in the middle of Siberia is the Tomsk temple. And I tell devotees, and I tell Indian devotees too, I say in Tomsk, there is an ashram which is more Indian than in India. Really, the wonderful place. And the devotees and the environment that's been made there very capably by the devotees there is very suitable, and we feel that here is another room of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. Jai Subhadra Devi Dasi, happily remembering you and happily having you here and remembering all the devotees there, continuing with the window open, so I see it's warm. I know it gets actually quite hot in Tomsk in the summer, and in the winter, guess what? It gets quite cold. And every snowflake is different. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. So next Sunday, we shall be with you, and we shall be with you from another place, and I'll be with two of your Latvian devotees. So we'll have Udaran Prabhu and Namapriya, and 2.5, because we also have Purnamasi, who's half Latvian by association. She's very happy in Latvia to be with you all. So we'll be at the anniversary of the Budapest temple, and to give support, we want to give support, encouragement, joy, wherever we can. And again, happily in the association of the devotees there to hear and to share. Vishakha is there. Vishakha, she's very experienced in India. She was there a long time. I don't remember the number of years, but this way by discussion also, we remember things we wouldn't otherwise remember if we hadn't started like chatting and then, oh, this happened. Oh, yes, this happened and that happened. Gurudev did this, Gurudev did that. So we're always happy to be with the devotees, especially who've had the association of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, of course, where possible, but had that association and the personal interaction with Gurudev and with the devotees, the environment of Navadip. And so in Budapest, Namapriya Devi Dasi, she's put into practice what she said she was going to do for several years. And then she got the opportunity to sell her house, which was a nice house, but in the countryside. So she could make an ashram in the city of Budapest where people can reach. So she did that, and we are very happy to give her support in this. And with her son and with the devotees there, then that ashram now continuing, this will be 2 years old, correct?
Yes.
This is the 2nd anniversary. So we'll be with you next week from there. And I expect we'll be doing some Hari Nam Sankirtan there also. And by the way, this afternoon, we're going to do some Hari Nam Sankirtan here in the garden. Well, garden means we have by the Krishna's grace, we have a full garden, all the tables, people at the tables. It's a very sweet environment outside. And that's by the the energy, the grace of well, all of the team, but Madhusudan Prabhu, Shanti Devi Dasi, Munindra Mohan Krishna Kanta, they work so hard to make this kiosk, the vegetarian kiosk, successful. And now, even though it's a quiet day, mainly people go to the beach when it's this kind of weather, then they've got like regular customers and people who come at the weekend, and very happily the garden is full, and we are going to do kirtan outside and then try to draw those who are happy to do so to come into the temple for the evening aarti and evening program as we do each day. So this is happening. This is a little bit of news from here. Hare Krishna.
Next Sunday going to be also Rath Yatra.
Oh, next Sunday Rath Yatra. Okay, well, that's it. I don't need to pass the microphone anymore. Next Sunday is also going to be Rath Yatra. All right, I don't have the calendar in front of me. So Sunday is actually the day, right? The anniversary day. They chose the Rath Yatra day to inaugurate the temple, as did Srila Guru Maharaj, again following some example from our masters. Srila Guru Maharaj chose Rath Yatra day to officially make the opening of the Navadip, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. And with Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Tavara Udgita Kirti Jaya Shrim Vibrat Sambhati Ganga Tata Nikate Navadipe. Oh, see if I can quickly find it. I shouldn't have started. You know it by heart. Vibrat Sambhati Ganga Tata Nikata Navadipa Koladri Raje. Yes. Yatra Shri Gora Saraswata Matta Nirata Gora Gata Grinanti Nityang Rupanuga Shri Kritamati Guru Gauranga Radha Jitasha. With this announcement, as it were, clean, beautiful vision, Srila Guru Maharaj inaugurated Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat also on Rath Yatra day. Okay, so more about Rath Yatra, more about the Budapest progress and the devotees there, and we hope we can also draw some of them to share some things with you in Latvia, and everyone who is joining us, all of us squeezing into Suresh Krishna's little flat there in Rezegne, in one way or another via the Zoom. Miraculous. All right. It is a miracle of modern science that we're able to do this. Let us use the facility while we have the opportunity. Suresh Krishna, over to you. Final words, Latvian Zoom. Suresh, to you.
Oh, yes, Maharaj, I will speak Russian, okay?
Yes.
To understand here. Да,
Yes, we are following the footsteps of the acharyas. Mahaprabhu himself, he showing the example. And what inspires me for today, that Mahaprabhu in Leela with Ramachandra Puri, when he was criticized by him, Mahaprabhu showed his respect to Ramachandra Puri. Although all the devotees called Ramachandra Puri criticizing them. But Mahaprabhu was still following those instructions, quote unquote, that Ramachandra Puri gave to Mahaprabhu himself. And I wish to all the devotees such a patience, tolerance, humility that Mahaprabhu demonstrated. We had to learn this because even in my life, I meet a lot of such Ramachandras. And unfortunately, I cannot show such humility yet. Association with the devotees is very important. And the thing that we do the festivals, someone may ask, why to do this? No one goes there, not so many new people come.
Эти
But
совместные делания, это
when we
говорит о
do
том,
it
некий
all together,
teambuilding.
it's like team
Мы
building for us.
больше с друг другом
We start
начинаем
to interact
взаимодействовать,
more with each other,
и
and
наши
our
характеры
characters, they
раскрываются в такой вот
blossom
совместной
in
деятельности в
this
большей степени. И в эти
co-activity.
дни, когда мы можем неделю
That's
провести вместе,
1 week that we can spend together, and
мы уходим от этих внешних
for
каких-то
this
дел, и
time
мы
we
погружаемся в служение друг
abandon
другу,
some
в
external
служение
things,
старшим
and we
преданным,
emerge
служение
into
нашим гуру,
service to the
Махапрабху.
seniors, to
И это
Mahaprabhu, to
замечательное
our
действие, которое
devotees.
нас
And
удовлетворяет и
that's great
дает нам
activity
сил
that
для дальнейших
spiritualizes
действий,
us and gives us
для
strength for further
для дальнейшего, так скажем, отречения от
renunciation
материального мира,
from the material
не
world,
искать
not to
каких-то,
search for some
не искать какого-то
satisfaction in
удовлетворения в
it.
этом материальном мире. Харе Кришна.
Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Om Vishnupad Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Om Vishnupad Shri Bhakti Rakha Shri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Shri Prabhupada Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, and Jai Bhagavan Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga Ki Jai, and Jai Shri Shri Nitai Chaitanya Dev Ki Jai. Thinking of Jagannath Puri, our deities there. And Guru Maharaj's deities in Navadip. Jai Saparika Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar Jiva Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai all the Latvian Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai, all the assembled Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Shri Hari Nama Sankirtan Ki Jai, Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Govinda Govinda.
Jai.
Kunali Didi, good to see you in St. Petersburg and in Dubala, just nearby here. Well, an hour and a half away. And Ekadashi, we mentioned Brajasundri Devi Dasi and Ekadashi, and to all of the devotees, please, my obeisances, Ekadashi. And Brajasundri Devi. Where are you now? Georgia. Oh, you came from Mrityaloka to Georgia. And oh, you know one devotee here, Purnananda Prabhu, he broke a bone in his foot yesterday. Oh dear. So you see, any moment, anything can happen. So our devotee in some pain. And I would be a bad doctor to see the pain in others. I must say, I'd be a terrible doctor. Nadia Priya Didi, Priyananadi, looking after our translation. Leela Moy Prabhu, early morning in Brazil, and Tunga Rasa Didi, appreciating your questions. And Paramananda Prabhu, you've been very quiet this afternoon, evening, but we appreciate that you're here with us, checking us, making sure if you're any correction anytime, please do let us know. Jai to all of you and all who may be seeing the recorded version. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Amra Ashchi Govinda Govinda. Hari Hari. Krishna 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 Krishna.